Okay guys, so once you have two words, you're going to decide if you want to draw things by hand with a pencil or use your iPad. Here's the demo how to do it by hand. I want you guys to do block letters so that you can color them in. One trick is to really lightly draw the letter, just capital, and then you go around it, drawing a line on both sides that's evenly spaced from your original capital letter. Then you go back in and you can erase that line you made first, leaving yourself with a block letter. The next thing you want to think about is spacing. My two words are going to be Jim Crow and segregated neighborhoods. My grandfather worked in Chicago in the 1940s on ending racial covenants, saying how many people of each race could live in each neighborhood. Because of his efforts and other efforts, neighborhoods were integrated, but I still think we have segregation in neighborhoods today. So if my top word is going to be Jim Crow, I count the letters, that is, including the spaces. J-I-M-C-R-O-W. One space, that leaves 8. So I'm going to have to fit 8 spots up the top. And the first way I kind of divide it up is just kind of thinking, okay, that's halfway. So on the left side, I'm going to have J-I-M space and then C-R-O-W. That'll help me space it out a little bit. Now I draw my block letters. Okay, so I'm going to try to fit in big letters that are block or bubble so that later on I can color them in day 2 with watercolors to help get my idea across. So I'm going to try to space them out evenly across the top of my paper, and my next step will be to do the words on the bottom of my paper. Kind of the before and after, past, present. My bottom two words are going to be segregated neighborhoods. Two really long, big words. I'm going to try to fit them down here. They may kind of go one above and then below, and I want to make sure I spell them right. So I'm going to refer to my sheet as I'm writing this out. So as I'm writing this, I'm starting to think about other things I could add to this design. I've got my words, which are my predominant message, but day 2 I'm going to start to think about colors. Colors that come from the top word, Jim Crow, top words, that drip and influence the colors below. In this case, Jim Crow, in my eyes, led to neighborhoods being segregated. So I don't think that it's necessarily a good thing. I don't know that I'm going to use happy Sesame Street colors for this illustration. I'm probably going to do colors that are a little bit more dark, and I'm going to try to figure out ways to show this division with my colors. The other option is that I can add some illustrations to this while the paper is still dry with the Sharpies, some little images and icons to help further my idea. An important step before you use watercolor is to take a Sharpie and outline your block letters so that the watercolor doesn't smear the block letters and so they really show up, especially after you put colors on them. So now that my letters have been outlined, I'm adding some elements to help kind of push my idea. So I added this fence here to kind of look like something you'd see outside a house. I also underlined the word gated neighborhood, kind of like certain people aren't allowed because there's a gate there. And let's see, I could also kind of, I don't know, maybe make it look like there's a little crow up top here. You can add other elements or other designs too if you have time. The next part of this demo video will show you how to do this same thing on Pic Collage instead of drawing it by hand. Okay, so Nerdine loaned me his iPad. Thanks, Nerdine, for this demo now. I'm going to go to Pic Collage, and I'm going to start a new one. And I want to pick a background that's going to be white because I'm going to print this out for you guys, and we want to add our own color using the watercolors. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type my two words on top, my two words on bottom by just adding text. When you go to add your text, I want you to use the Bob's Made font. It's the only one that's like block letters. And the other weird thing about Pic Collage is that if you do a space, let me do that right. I'll capitalize it since it's a name. Like I said, I'll capitalize it. Thank you. Okay, so if you look at this, it put it on 2 lines. I like mine better on one line, top line, bottom line. So what I'm going to do instead is, although this is kind of breaking grammatical rules, I'm just going to go like that, Jim Crow, on the same line, making sure that I capitalize the C so that you can have it all on one line. It's not the greatest, but that's what Pic Collage allows us to do. All right. Then you want to turn it and twist it so that the top part of your composition or your paper is going to have Jim Crow. My second set of words was segregated neighborhoods. And I'm going to just do this same way. Make sure I spell it right. Not return done. I'm going to rotate that. I'm going to try to stretch that out until it gets as big as it can on the bottom of my paper, like that. Okay? Now, that's pretty much all you need to do today. If you do want to draw a couple more things on there, you can, but now you have the same thing as the people who hand draw it on the piece of paper. Now, to be able to get a paper copy of what you made, you need to save it to your library. Don't just take a screenshot, because when you take a screenshot, it'll include all these little icons from Pic Collage. Actually save your document to your library. And then you can go to Google Drive, and this is where you need to go to your shared folders. Here, find the one that says Cragthorpe, U.S. Studies, and then Nerding is in period 3, so he's going to go like this. He will hit the plus sign, upload photos or videos, and he will upload the Jim Crow design. Okay? When it appears, that will be what I see and Miss Cragthorpe sees, and that's what we'll print out for you guys so that you can have it in class and you can paint it the next day.